Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, we just moved the mob of cattle onto a fresh paddock. It's been rested. We've been gone from here, let's see, probably around 50 days, 45 days. In this area of the fence, on this side, on the left, as you can see from the weeds and stuff, and there's some honey locust sprouts and stuff out in there. We didn't clip that. And on this side of the fence, where the string is, as you can see, this was clipped. And so it's had, what, 17 inches of rain on it, guys?
Yeah.
Had a monsoon.
Well, it was dry when you clipped it. It was in June, wasn't it?
It was in June. And today is July 30th. So it's been, well, it would have been the 1st of June that I clipped it because I stopped. So what we did is I clipped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I clipped 6 paddocks on this farm, and I stopped. We were dry, and so I was a little bit scared to keep on clipping, thinking that it wouldn't come back. And little did I know we were going to get 17 inches of rain.
But not till the end of June.
Right.
Right.
All in a few days.
Yeah. So we went from a droughty type conditions where the ground was cracking, the forages stopped growing, and then it just went to a monsoon. But look at the forage in here. Isaac, what do you think about that? You think you would eat that if you were a cow?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would. I mean, it's super lush, super thick. Earlier, I mean, they're not doing it now, but earlier you could see it was probably 50 head lined up on this spot that you'd brush hogged.
Just because the wire, yeah.
In this alley, yeah.
Yeah.
They were on the good stuff.
Yeah.
High energy, tender.
Well, you'll notice this plant coming up behind us here. That one right. That's Timothy.
Really?
And it's coming up again. It's putting out another seed head.
Oh yeah.
Timothy is usually good for about once. You know, it comes up in June. But it's Timothy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of orchard grass coming. That was, new stuff came up in here.
Yep. That's pretty cool. But the clover out there, I mean, we've got clover, but some places we have too much clover, but this paddock looks pretty good. In other words, the cows aren't going to overeat on clover right here.
I think what happened is the clover came up thick first.
Yep.
And it's had enough rest that the grasses have been able to come up.
Catch up.
And thicken in where, because if you look, you got like a clover clump right here, and it's pretty thick, but then in here, everywhere there was a gap, fescue and, some orchard and everything came up.
Yes.
Through it. And just thickened it up.
And I like that.
I mean, you can't even see the ground.
No.
You gotta seriously pull back.
The soil, there's some.
Is that worm or is that something else? That almost looks like.
That's worm castings, I believe. It could be ants.
Yeah, it's like little pellets.
Yep.
But it's thick in here, it's super dense.
Yeah. If you put your hand down there, it's cool.
Yeah.
We haven't had any rain now for, well, this week anyway.
It's been at least a week and a half, maybe 2.
Probably 2.
2 weeks. Look at our boots. Connor, your boots are wet.
Yeah, my pants are wet up to here.
Yeah. But it didn't rain. How did they get wet?
All the dew.
All the dew.
I mean, you can kind of see some of the fog out here.
Yeah.
It's all depositing all the moisture in the air on the ground.
Can y'all see that spider web? Yeah, it shows up. Lots of spider webs. Oh, this one's got a spider on it. Look at this.
A lot of bug life.
Yep. There's spider webs everywhere in here.
Yeah, if you look around and just watch for a little bit, you see this thing hopping from leaf to leaf.
Yeah, if you look out across it, look at all the spider webs out there.
Yeah.
All those little white webs. So we're getting ready to, we've got our reel on. We've got our post set on the seat. And I'm going to sit on a side saddle and throw these off. And Isaac, what'd you do up here? This pigtail. You and not Connor. What's the deal here?
To terminate a fence using just temporary stuff, we'll set a pigtail post, which this is an O'Brien. No, which?
I got those from Powerflex. I'm not sure what the brand is, but they're the good ones.
They're the smaller,
yep,
the shorter ones.
Shorter ones.
Less cantilever.
You don't want the 36 inches. You want the, I think those are 32.
So then we'll take an O'Brien step in, and we'll put it in.
Wait a minute, let me get over and people can see what you're doing here.
So we'll put it in the clip.
The second notch up.
Rotate it.
Yep.
And then you take it and add a little flex.
Why are you flexing
sticking
that?
in the ground so that when you step it in, which this one's a little, step it in, you want it to be an angle.
Straight. Okay. Perfect.
And then that's your brace. That's not gonna budge unless you're a cow. I mean,
you're keeping in 300 head of cattle with that.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, you could pull on that pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's not gonna give.
So you didn't need a post pounder. You didn't need anything. Just that pigtail.
And the O'Brien.
You put your little slip knot in there.
Yep.
Why do you put a slip? Why don't you just tie a knot in it?
It's a lot easier to get out.
Oh,
like
you did that quick.
So the slip knot. That's all we do. Quick to put in, quick to take out, and it's not going to go anywhere.
You act like you've tied that knot once or twice.
A couple times.
Connor, you got it down.
Yeah, I mean, you
do
that every day for at least.
I know you
10 times
two are
a
not
day.
going to believe this, but we've had interns here that for the whole summer and they never got that knot. It's not they weren't dumb. It's just it's
something that
it takes some practice, and I don't know. You start twisting that wire around your finger. Next thing you know, you're like, well, I'm just going to tie a knot and be done with it.
Yeah.
That's a booger to get out when you.
Oh man,
especially if someone pulls on it and it gets tight.
Yes, I noticed, guys, y'all stayed back from the wire here just a little bit. That's kind of important when you're putting the fence up, isn't it?
Just keep you from
getting nailed.
Touching it.
Yeah, because if you're out here, this guy's got his hand on this, and that wire comes up against this, you're gonna be letting loose of it pretty quick.
And the cow's not gonna go.
No.
It's 20.
So you're telling me that little pigtail with that brace on it, we're gonna go clear down this hill to the bottom down, and that's gonna hold this wire tight.
I mean, you can see I'm pulling on it pretty good. Oh, nah, it just popped up, proving me wrong.
Take your foot and really push down. I like to take my heel.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
I mean, that's some serious tension there.
And you're not gonna be pulling that tight.
No, it's just gonna be about like that.
Yep.
And if something hits it real hard, it might yank it out.
Yeah.
But very
we don't hardly ever find that. Now, here comes the ladies and the men. They're coming down this fence over toward us.
Look at their grass they've got in their mouth.
Yeah.
Everything they're grabbing is super palatable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see this, you take a bite, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, don't rip that off.
But look at what they've got to eat there.
So that's a mouthful of grass for a cow.
You got your
right
clovers. There. I think that's white clover, yeah.
Yep.
Your fescue. I mean, you take, their tongue wraps around that and yanks up. And then grab around here and
another
yank up.
one. Yeah.
It doesn't even have to move, and it can eat everything in this little section.
I'm telling you what, I get the cold chills just looking at this beautiful forage. I'm serious. I mean, as a grazer,
you can see how tender it is. Just stepping on it, it mats down.
Yeah. Well, you made the comment, both of you, when we drove in with that four-wheeler, it's almost too pretty to drive over.
Yeah.
This is one of those paddocks like, well, just grab our armload of posts and walk it in. But we got a bunch to put up this morning, so we're going to drive it in.
Yeah.
But
it's just one pass.
Yeah, it's one pass.
You got to try and stay in that same path, not drive over extra forage.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Look at this clover that's coming up. And it's been dry for 2 weeks, but just enough moisture.
I mean, that clover's up 2 feet.
Up
to your knee, past your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The red clover's the good stuff too, better than the white.
Yes. Well, this is
Did you want to look over?
I want to show. Yeah. So you can come right over here, and the cows are out here eating this, but you can tell. Well, look right here. See, it's got the dry seed heads on it. It's got a lot of dry matter down in there, and the cows are going through and they're grazing it, and they're trampling a lot of it. So on this paddock, we're going to get more trampled on the ground, and on this paddock behind us, the new one, that they'll be coming on tonight, they're going to actually be more going through the cow.
I mean, there's benefits to both, because with this, I mean, look at the structure and the
Yes.
ecosystem that you've got
Yes.
here. You've got your ironweed.
Ironweed.
Standing this tall, you know, as a windbreak for the,
Yep.
the grasses, keeping the soil dry. A lot of the birds in the wintertime will survive on the seeds from these plants. So if you leave some of them, it's, you know,
Yep.
it'll eventually get trampled and it'll just become carbon.
Right.
It's not like a, you know, an evil leaving it.
Right.
But,
The one
like
thing
you
that
said,
you've got to focus on, though, guys, and you know, when you all move forward in your next grazing endeavors in your future, you both are very young men, and you're fortunate enough to get on some land, maybe lease some land or whatever. The one thing you got to keep in mind is the landowners that you're working with are probably going to be people that live in town, maybe haven't owned land before, and so they've got a little bit different idea of what their land should look like than you do. And I can promise you what they want it to look like. That right over there. So I'm not saying you have to do it every year, but if you get in a position where you don't ever mow and it starts growing up these things. Now, this landowner let me keep these. That's a honey locust, and I told him I needed some shade, and I promised him I wouldn't let him get out of control. And so that's why I come in brush hog at least every other year. If you don't, those darn things will get so big that you got to use a chainsaw, you know, to get them out. Boy, there's a pretty bull. What do y'all think about him?
he's a beast.
That's just a yearling.
Yeah.
He's gonna grow out well.
There's a bunch of bulls up here. It must be a cow or heifer in heat or something.
Oh,
I mean, everywhere you look,
there's bulls, yeah. I bet it's that cow right there in the middle.
Yeah. Maybe they have their bull gang. They're
Yep,
men only.
yep.
Right here's another one. Beautiful bull. This is next year's 814.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a shout out to Tim. He bought 814 the other night in an auction, and boy, did he get a start. One of the best bulls we've ever raised, and he's going to be picking him up in August, and he's starting out with some super, super high quality grass genetics in his herd. And thank you, Tim. Best of luck to you, and look forward to seeing how you get along with a super, super powerful, good looking bull. I'm going to miss him. I like looking at him. He's just
The other day,
he's just a stud.
we were walking down this lane, and we were moving him into this paddock, and the sun was behind him, and there was some fog. And he had turned around and he came walking back up towards us because we had like a cow or something, just doing the waddle. You know, in the sun in the background, the fog all around.
Wish
the
you
dew on
could have
the
had a
grass.
video
Oh,
of
man,
that.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He's such a mild old boy, you know.
Yeah.
He just never gets excited, and nobody ever challenges him because he's just a stud. You know, he's built low to the ground, and I don't think anybody could out push him. Not in this herd. So that's
You gotta
pretty.
get him on the trailer. He just walks straight
Yeah,
on. He's
yeah.
no
You
fuss.
could probably load him with polywire. You know,
Oh
and he'd
yeah,
walk right on
yeah.
it.
You wouldn't need steel gates for him. Yeah, he's a good one. I want to also give a shout out to Heavenly Farms. Jorge down in Arkansas is just getting started, and he's got some heifers. He's starting a herd down there, and he's doing the mob grazing, and it's on a small scale. So for those of you all that have, you know, like 20 acres, you ought to check him out, and I'll put a link to his YouTube channel on the description. It's Jorge Medina, and Jorge is his handle is Heavenly Farms, his YouTube channel. He's doing a good job there. He's getting started. He's learned. He's making mistakes, but he's explaining to people what he's doing, and you all need to check him out. That's Heavenly Farms. Small acreage. A lot of people are in that frame of 20 acres. Some people that's a big farm. If you've only had a half an acre. But he's making it work. He's smaller scale, and I think you ought to be checking out what he's doing. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of here. We've got some fence to put up, and it's getting hot, isn't it, guys?
No, I was just thinking that. I'm starting to kind of sweat a little bit.
Greg's over there running his mouth, and the boys, oh, Connor, you already got sweat on your shirt.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard for me to start. I walk outside and I start. So.
Well, I walked out at 6:30 this morning, and the humidity's like, oh man.
Like, you almost can like taste the air. It's
Yes,
so
yes.
Slice it with a butter knife.
So we're gonna get our work done, and we're gonna set out that couple hours in the afternoon where it's just brutal hot, and maybe come back out, early evening or something. But it's just so brutal out here. It's not safe, I don't think, to be out, especially if older folks like me. I've had 2 heat strokes in my life, and folks, keep hydrated. And not only hydrated, you've also got to put down some electrolytes. Both time I got heat stroke, I was drinking tons of water, thought I was safe, and I wasn't. I wasn't replenishing the electrolytes. And when you get the cold shakes and start trembling, and you stop sweating, that's when you're in trouble. And that's what happened to me. So once you get it, you got to be really careful, because you can get it a lot easier, and it's dangerous. I mean, there's people who die of heat stroke. So be safe out there. Get your work done early in the morning and get out of that heat. Everyone take care, and we'll see you next time. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you.